It's Platt, and today we get a little twisted. That's next on Platt's Drink of the Week. Well, all right, guys, time to get back in the liquor store, find some new stuff. How about it? Spring has already come. Before you knew it, it came here, and so it's time for us to start looking at more kind of refreshing drinks, something you can have outdoors, something on the go because the weather's getting nice and we want to get outdoors. And I think we've got the perfect candidate. We have Twisted Tea half and half. I purchased this can at $2.99. It comes in at 5% alcohol by volume. Let's review the can real quick. Hard iced tea, Twisted Tea, half and half, half iced tea, half lemonade, 5% alcohol by volume. And on the very bottom, it tells us malt beverage with tea and those proverbial natural flavors, no carbonation. Now, here in a minute, you'll figure out the malt beverage part of that deal. But let's get to the half and half, half iced tea, half lemonade. That's an Arnold Palmer. We've talked about these before. For those of you that aren't into golf or maybe not familiar with the gentleman, the drinks named after Arnold Palmer was one of the legends of golf. Some people equate him to the Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle or Wilt Chamberlain or whatever of golf. He won 7 majors, 62 tour wins. Golf Hall of Famer. Also helped founded the Golf Channel, which, again, if you're a golfer today, you definitely know the exploits of Arnold Palmer and watch the Golf Channel. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Now, getting back to Twisted Tea itself, Twisted Tea was founded in 2000. Twisted Tea is part of the Boston Beer Company. That's right, Samuel Adams Boston Lager, their parent company, Boston Beer Company, is the parent company. This is one of the divisions or subsidiaries of it. Twisted Tea is produced at the regional breweries for Samuel Adams. They have several throughout the country. One in Cincinnati, one in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which was the home of Arnold Palmer, Memphis, Tennessee, and Irwindale, California, just to name a few. Now, the history of Boston Beer Company goes all the way back to 1984 when it was founded by Jim Koch and Rhonda Kelman. Of course, Koch today is still the chairman of the company. And they released their beer the next year in 1985 on Patriots Day. Patriots Day, a huge celebration in Boston. It's when they run the Boston Marathon. The Red Sox usually have an early game. And a perfect day in Boston to release a beer, let's just say the least. Today, the Boston Beer Company is the 4th largest brewer in America, behind obviously the big 3, Bud, Miller, and Coors. Little controversy when they first kind of came about and were part of the early craft beer revolution was the fact that the beer originally was sourced. There was not, a little brewery that, there weren't pictures of Jim building a brewery like you see in a lot of others. He outsourced his beer at first. Now, some people don't like that, but the reality is it kind of makes sense. If you only had one beer, which he was just starting off with the Boston Lager, it's really expensive to build a brewery and kind of flesh it out just to produce one beer if you're going to produce a bunch of beers. But if you're just going to produce one, probably sourcing was definitely the most economical and probably the more efficient way to go about that. They did, though, eventually purchase one of the breweries they sourced from in Cincinnati, and come to find out that is where Jim's father ran a brewery before. He's talked about in the commercial 6 generations of family, brewing or whatever. Well, his father ran a brewery in Cincinnati, and that was one of the breweries they initially used and then bought to source it. So they still kind of kept it in-house. It just wasn't in Boston, of course. When Twisted Tea came out in 2000, it was an effort by the Boston Beer Company to kind of expand their product line. At that point, they'd already kind of gone through a craft beer revolution, the one in the 80s into the 90s, and they had pretty much done a little bit of everything. They had done Utopias at that point. They'd really started pushing the boundaries, but they'd done about as much as they could in that quote-unquote craft beer market. They weren't going to get into the light lager business and try to outdo Bud, Miller, and Coors. That probably wasn't going to work. So they started getting into other alcoholic beverages, 2000 with the Twisted Tea. They had I can't remember the earlier iteration of their cider company, but today, now it's called Angry Orchard. They've gotten into truly hard seltzers. So they've kind of expanded the product line into other alcoholic beverages. Move ahead to 2019, and they merged with Dogfish Head, one of the real pioneers in the next kind of craft beer wave, and they had a spirits component already to them, so again kind of brought more into the Boston Beer Company. As of today, Jim Koch, I believe, is still the chairman, but when he steps down, Sam Calagione will take over the company if he hasn't already, or the chairman spot. And so that's kind of the future of the Boston Beer Company. Getting back now to Twisted Tea, of course, they have, you know, several varieties. They have the classic original, which is just a straight hard tea. The half and half that we have here are the glorified Arnold Palmer. They have a black cherry, a blackberry, a peach. They do a light lemon. That's only 110 calories for you calorie counters out there. They also do a 169 ounce party pouch, similar to these box wines. You know, it's the bladder inside the box that has a little tap. Great for parties, poolside, and you know, if you got a group of people that actually could kind of agree to drink the same thing, they kind of really work out for a party. They've also now come out with Twisted Tea Sweet Tea Whiskey. That's a lot of teas in there. 65 proof, 32.5% alcohol by volume. They use the term whiskey very lightly, but there's several of these products out there, and I know if you like sweet tea that people really love these things, so definitely check that out. All right, guys, with that being said, let's jump in and try a little, sorry, the tongue is not working today. Let's try a little Twisted Tea. Here's Mud in Your Eye. Just nice, refreshing. The lemonade is the dominant flavor I get. More on the back end, you start to get that classic kind of traditional brewed tea kind of flavor, a little bit of the black tea. It's not harsh, it's not predominant. You're not picking up a lot of the tannins you can in you know, traditional brewed teas, but it's still there. You know, the lemon's nice, sweet. Body-wise, this is lighter. The sweetness is not viscous. It's pretty easy. This is just a simple drinker. Keep these cans cold, you know, throw it in an ice bucket or whatever, sit out a 12-pack or whatever. This is very nice. Easy drinking. You know, if you're going to hit the links, throw one, you know, at 24 ounces, throw one or two of these in the golf bag, then throw it when, you know, when you get your cart, throw it in the little cooler they give you. Ice a couple of these down, one on the front nine, one on the back nine. You're probably pretty good. Now, you might wonder, well, hey, how can I trick this up, or how can we make this, you know, ramp up this drink? Maybe, I may suggest maybe a little raspberry liqueur in there, a little Chambord, razzmatazz, whatever you have. It would make a nice, well, it's already kind of spiked. It's hard, you know, a nice spiked drink. Obviously, you know, maybe a raspberry vodka if you want to throw in there and really kind of ramp the thing up. But I can see raspberry going with this. You know, again, there's so many flavors of vodka. Any kind of flavored vodka probably would work. I think strawberry might be a little light flavor-wise. I would go with, you know, like I said, a blackberry, blueberry, raspberry kind of thing in here. Maybe something to try. But nice, easy drink to drink. Perfect for spring and summertime. You're getting outdoors. You know, the can comes in portable. Got a big group, maybe try the party pouch. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or things of the liquor store you'd like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.